Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a good friend of mine. I never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. And he always has the mighty fine wine, singing joy into the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. And if I was the king of the world, I'd tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the war, and I'd make sweet love to you. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. I got some guilty pleasures. I love to have my fun. I'm a high life flyer and a rainbow rider, a straight shooting son of a gun. I said a straight shooting son of a gun. Oh yeah, joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls, joy to the world. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls now, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me.
Good morning, dear friends, and welcome on this Sunday morning to the online service of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. My name is June Cerveny, and I am happy to be your worship associate this morning, co-leading this service with our minister, Reverend Margie Allen. Deb Little is our Director of Religious Education, and our children's worship and learning time is each Sunday from 9:45 to 10:15. I would like to offer a special welcome this morning to anyone who is new to our fellowship, and I hope that you find among us inspiration for living and nourishment for your spirit. Unitarian Universalism as a living tradition has two commitments: freedom of belief and an orientation toward inclusion, interdependence, and justice. You can find additional information about the 7 principles we strive to live by on our webpage at UUFSB.org. At the conclusion of our morning service, there will be a meet and greet coffee hour. It does take a few minutes to get everyone admitted, so please be patient while the tech magic happens. After this greeting time, we encourage you to join one of the small group chats by leaving the main meeting and signing back into the small group chat meeting link, which is on our webpage or in the news feed. Refill your coffee and share some quality time with fellow members and new friends.
Once upon a time in the history of our fellowship, a preschool that had long leased our religious education wing during the week saw fit to padlock the gate to a playground that the children of our congregation also used on Sundays. Let the sound of our bell this morning become the key that unlocks all the possibilities for play in our lives and blows open the gates to joy.
I light our chalice this morning with these words from the Zohar, the central book of mystical Jewish teaching. The presence of the divine is made manifest within a place of joy.
How wonderful it is that you are here, alive and well enough, that we are here together, some maybe for the first time, some as you are nearly every week, that somehow nearly a year from the Sunday we first abandoned our physical sanctuary, we have managed to create a safer space in which to find comfort and encouragement with friends new and old in this familiar Sabbath ritual. We come here remembering too that all are not so lucky or privileged or healthy or loved or safe or warm today. That even in this company, some of us are suffering, are lonely, in pain, under treatment, brokenhearted, afraid. You, we, they are in the right place right now, the place where love and joy and laughter and welcome and healing find their way into even the most hurting heart, the place where light shines through the broken places. This morning we think together about what play is and how and when we do it. Let our opening hymn take you back to a time when your only job was to play, to pass through again and again the gateway to exploration, delight, and learning. It is in that spirit that we seek to unlock this morning in your memory, in your body, in your imagination, in the array of choices you face in every moment about how you're going to use your time. Lee and John Morris lead us in singing number 338, I Seek the Spirit of a Child. I hope you'll join in one way or another.
Delightful
Young animals, including our own human young, learn the skills we will need as adults through play. This reading, a poem by Marie Howe called The Game, describes a game of pretend, some version of which many of us have probably played as children. As I read, let Howe's words unlock any memory your body holds of your time in this parallel universe. And on certain nights, maybe once or twice a year, I'd carry the baby down and all the kids would come, all 9 of us together. And we'd build a town in the basement from boxes and blankets and overturned chairs. And some lived under the pool table or in the bathroom or the boiler room or in the toy cupboard under the stairs. And you could be a man or a woman, a husband or a wife or a child. And we bustled around like a day in the village until one of us turned off the lights, switch by switch. And slowly it became night and the people slept. Our parents were upstairs with company or not fighting. And one of us, it was usually a boy, became the town crier. And he walked around our little sleeping population and told the hours with his voice. And this was the game. 9 o'clock and all is well, he'd say, walking like a constable that we must have seen in a movie. And what we called an hour passed. 10 o'clock and all is well. And maybe somebody stirred in her sleep, or a grown-up baby cried and was comforted. 11 o'clock, and all is well. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And it went on like that through the night we made up until we could pretend it was morning.
Nice, June, thank you. I invite you to make yourselves comfortable where you are right now as we enter together into a moment of reflection, a meditation, a time of prayer. I have a few words to take with you. Then we'll enjoy a time of shared relative silence and then a song led by Mike Hoffman to bring us back gently from wherever we went in that quiet time. Excuse me. Think for a moment now, if you will, about the way you played when you were little. What kinds of things did you enjoy the most when you played alone? Inside, outside, a special place, beloved toys? What about when you played with friends or maybe even siblings? Inside, outside, favorite games that came in boxes or only in your shared imaginations? If it's comfortable for you, take a memory or seek a memory in the silence we will explore together. Gather the scenery, the faces, the sounds, the feelings. See if you can bring your muscle memory of that time back. The photo that will serve as your companion during our moment of silent meditation was taken at the May Day Sunday service in 2015. We went out into the beautiful, warm, sunny day at the end of the service to dance around the maypole in the tradition of the pagan holiday of Beltane, adults and children together, weaving our colors over and under, down the maypole in that long awaited spring. If you were there, remember. If you were not, imagine. Another spring is coming.
Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free, spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
It is our spiritual practice to encourage ourselves in generosity by taking an offering that will be shared between our fellowship and an agency doing the work of social justice. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of February is Multicultural Solidarity, an anti-racist organization developed and organized by Doris and Joel Diamond, members of our congregation. Multicultural Solidarity takes a unique approach in holding their meetings in participants' homes. Diversity, friendship, and listening circles have attracted a wide range of participants and resulted in meetings across societal barriers, broadening perspectives, and building solidarity that inspires working together for change. The organization is run entirely by volunteers, and there are no fees or costs to participate, but they have many administrative expenses, and so they rely entirely on donations and contributions to operate and grow. Let's support this homegrown organization, which is truly bringing our UU principles to life in the world, and they need our support. During this time, when we cannot take a collection in person, please continue to send your very much needed pledge payments and contributions. All are received with much gratitude.
love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love the fireside when all the lights are low. Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
Now I'm no longer alone without a dream in it.
Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
I love the ocean, I love the open sea, I love the forest, I love the bumblebees, I love the stars above. When night turns into day,
Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
I love the sunshine, I love the river view, I love the bird song heard through my window. I love the city lights when the moon is high. Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
I love the wild rose, I make you smile. I love the flowers, I love the daffodils.
I love the fireside when all the lights are low. Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
Oh my gosh, that was fabulous. Thank you, everybody, for putting that together. Lee and John et al. So, Playtime. I have vivid memories of playing alone and with my fellow faculty brats who lived on Faculty Row on the edge of the campus where my professor dad did his work. I spent hours on the floor of my bedroom surrounded by little worlds that I made out of Lincoln logs, immersed in the stories that moved the characters that lived there, stuffed animals, trolls, various iterations of dolls, persons and vehicles and furniture I made from sticks and grasses and boxes and the little wire baskets that hold down the champagne cork. I remember the intensity of that play, how that world that I made became the only reality that mattered, how time lost its meaning. I remember the satisfaction of creation. I played a version of this place building game outside as well, sometimes with a friend, creating worlds of small villages at the base of trees along the creek, complete with grocery stores selling berries and little tiny gems and boats that brought goods down the river to other stores and homes, little stick figures sailing them, and fishing and gardening and tucking in the children in their beds. We called the game Men. I also wandered. The whole campus was my backyard and my bailiwick, I might add, including the fields and the pond and the creeks, the gardens, even the municipal dump and the distant lake beyond the campus grounds. I can remember the pleasure of packing for a walkabout, a sandwich, a book, a magnifying glass, a sweater, a hat, you know, all the things. I had all the sunny day to go anywhere I wanted. It was like walking into a book not yet written and finding out what happens. And I was actually far from completely aimless. I had things to take care of out there, a real sense that I was more than just a traveler, that I was a part somehow of how it all worked. my regular presence a kind of mutual reassurance that things were as they should be. My friends and I lived out elaborate games like the one Marie Howe describes in the poem that June read. We played house and schoolroom and laboratory in the basement. A game we called war, fought from yard to yard, or alternatively, a herd of horses or horses and riders moving from grassy lawn to grassy lawn, actually feeding on the clover and the onion grass. A mothering game played out in the water of the campus pool in which babies were ferried about and nested and comforted. Another kind of house game happened in the hayfield beyond the fence at the back of my side of the street, in which we flattened the standing grass into rooms and moved among them as members of a newly invented family. They say that when we are little, play is our only work. And by we, I mean all young animals. Play is the way we learn what it means to be alive, to become ourselves, to love what we love, to face what frightens us, to be a friend and a community, to create and discover, to figure out what matters and what doesn't, to experience and remember the consequences of our actions. People who think about these things have identified 5 distinguishing characteristics of the activities we call play, and they hold true more or less for any kind of play. Play is self-chosen and self-directed. What we are doing because we want to. Anytime we want to stop, we can. That's the first one. Second, play is an activity that is carried out for its own sake only. We don't do it to learn, although learning happens. We don't do it to win, although there is sometimes a nominal winner. The ends are not nearly as important as the means. In fact, the means often have no knowledge at all of where they're taking us. It's all a story in process. It's the unfolding of it that matters. 3, play is imaginative. It takes place at some degree of removal from the immediately present real world. Yet the discoveries made within the imaginary frame are eminently applicable to the world outside the magic circle of play. Play is guided by rules. There are agreed upon roles and rules and structures based on an imagined world in which there is always, always room for creativity. You have to stay in character. You can't hurt anyone. The story can unfold in ways no one foresaw, and you have to be able to flex when the time comes. And the rules, with agreement, can change. And finally, play happens in an active, alert, but relatively non-stressed frame of mind. Although what happens in play has meaning and requires active and thoughtful engagement, there are no consequences in the real world. If for some reason tension becomes uncomfortable for a player, they can quit, or the group can agree to change the rules. You don't wonder at the end of the day whether you played house or men or war or how family village right or well. You just played. So play is self-chosen and directed, carried out for its own sake, an imaginary field of play, guided by negotiable rules, engaged in a non-stressful way. A particular pleasure of play are the moments when one is so absorbed and attuned to what is unfolding in the field of play that one's awareness of self and time in the world outside approaches zero. A scholar with an utterly unpronounceable name wrote in 1990, of this quality of deep play, calling it a state of flow, F-L-O-W, flow. Perhaps you're familiar with that feeling from your own childhood play, that sense of riding the pulse of what is happening, a sense of harmony and rightness, the sweet spot between freedom and engagement in which every cell of your body announces its presence. Maybe you've been in that state lately in the process, say, of putting together a puzzle or painting a scene in watercolors or assembling your mise en place into a meal or looking out the window with your hands in the warm soapy water of the kitchen sink, or listening to Yo-Yo Ma play your favorite Bach cello suite, or being in the right place and doing the right thing in every moment of a long rally in a tennis game, or laughing till your ribs hurt with good friends in the living room, or reading a wicked, wonderful poem out loud, or watching the swirl of bird wings and colors around the loaded feeder. All of these are ways adult human beings play. And entering into that sense of flow is entering into the presence of the wisest teacher and healer we humans can summon and come to know. What shall we call him or her or them? Joy, harmony, presence, beauty, the web, the one, the Tao, God. The word really doesn't matter. What matters is the teaching and the healing. And for that, you need to find ways to find and enter that flow and to stay there even when the beauty of it is nearly unbearably sweet. Because by the time we reach adulthood, we know that right next to that joy in the flow is the sorrow that its loss will bring. And it seems to me that sometimes we'd rather not even play if finding joy means losing it too. There are lots of things that get in the way of our making a decision to go ahead and play. But finding joy is what it's all about. It's what life's all about. And with practice, you can learn to hold joy closer for longer. So I wonder if you noticed that the qualities of human play are also the qualities of effective ritual, which is what, with luck and skill and hard work, we try to create here on Sunday mornings. Self-chosen and directed, carried out for its own sake, an imaginary field of play, guided by negotiable rules, engaged in a non-stressful way, an experience that is conducive to a state of flow. So coming here on Sunday mornings is a form of adult play, self-chosen and engaged with no end in mind, self-directed because every person's storyline resonates differently with the service elements, an imaginary field of play with music, voices, words, images for us to collect and arrange for ourselves like blocks or rooms in the hay or vistas on the walkabout in such a way as to meet our own intuitive need for learning and healing. And guided by negotiable rules. Sometimes the structure changes. Sometimes something unexpected happens. This is a flexible structure built with intention to remove distractions and stress so that you can relax into what happens here. It is an invitation to an experience of flow. I encourage you to look for ways to play, especially now during this anxious pandemic season. We adults are still learning. And play is still a potent teacher of things that matter. One clue to discovering ways to play as an adult is to dwell for a while in the world of your childhood play that I asked you to think about during our silent meditation. There are clues there about what you have loved from the beginning of your life. Those clues could lead you to fun and laughter and creativity and beauty and playmates, even now. Sometimes the door to play opens with an invitation. Remember the old song from the 1930s? I read, say, oh, playmate. Say, oh, playmate, come out and play with me, and bring your dollies 3, climb up my apple tree, shout down my rain barrel, slide down my cellar door, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore, more. Our closing hymn is an invitation like that, only UU style. Come sing, dream, walk, share with me that I might know your mind. How more UU can you get? Play connects us to our companions and to ourselves. It's that connection in which we find the holy. In that connection, hope is nurtured, love grows, and even in the harshest weather, when spring seems so far away, beauty blooms. Hope, love, beauty, names we give the holy. Come sing a song with Lee and John.
Song with me.
Me? Is it me? Our closing words are inspired by a poem by Martha Peck called What Can I Do? An alphabet of ideas for anxious times. It morphed into a shouty call and response, kind of a pep rally for the anniversary of a year gone awry. These are the things that sustain us. A.
Act up. Silence is consent.
B.
Be brave and true, always. Safety is overrated.
C.
Create beauty. Seek beauty.
D.
Dive deep. There's a wonderland under the surface.
E.
Explore the creek, the woods, the beach, the town.
F.
Feed people good food.
G.
Give before you get. Stuff gets in the way.
H.
Hope, and then help it happen.
I.
Inspire joy. Be generous.
J.
Join in the work and in the fun.
K.
Know your strengths and build on them.
L.
Listen, learn, love, a virtuous circle.
M.
Make time for what really matters.
N.
Name the good and walk towards it.
O.
Organize for change. Organize a game.
Play, 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 play.
Q.
Quiet your mind. It's fertile ground.
R.
Respect differences. They are the spice of life.
S.
Spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
T.
Take your time. Savor the moment.
U.
Use less of the earth's resources. Even Mother has her limits.
V.
Voice your vision. Share your dream.
W.
Whistle, hum, sing, whistle, play a little tune, spend a little while on the things that make you smile.
X.
Cross barriers to understanding and connection.
Y.
Yield your privilege. We're all equals and also kindred.
Z.
Sleep well. Every little thing is going to be okay. Every little thing is going to be okay.
As I extinguish our chalice and we go forth from this time together, may our eyes be open to see whimsy. May our hearts be open to joyous laughter, and may our lives be open to play.
A little longer benediction this morning than we're used to close us out. Catherine M. O'Meara entered these words into her blog almost a year ago, on March 16th, 2020. On the 12th of that month, Linda and I had flown to Morocco on a sabbatical mission. Sunday, March 15th was the first and only service we had to cancel due to COVID-19. Catherine wrote this the next day. And people stayed at home and read books and listened, and they rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth also began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth, just as they were healed. May it be so, my friends. Amen.
Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart.
Smile.